Andrew.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How you doing?
Oh, good. Can't complain. Still a little early, but it's all right.
Yeah. 4 o'clock?
4:30.
4:30, gosh.
Yeah.
Some serious dedication.
Yeah. Well, we're still moving along. We've just got our Google review for our new site and our
Brilliant.
calendar permissions you need and all that stuff. So we just got that. So now we're building our infrastructure into it, and yeah, we're getting close. I'm still getting your emails, but I'm assuming those are the AI generated emails.
Could well be. Regarding the masterclasses and stuff.
Well, yeah, follow-ups, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I get one or two.
Maybe someone has.
Morning, Richard. Quite a lot of noise on the line there from you.
Is that all right? We're hopefully not too much.
No, it's better now. I think you were moving the camera or something. Morning, Terry. Good to see you. Long time no see. Look! Looks like you're in a Swiss hotel room there or something.
Yeah, in the centre of Oslo.
Oh wow! So we've got Andrew over in Canada, Terry in Oslo, Richard in Somerset, and I'm in Dorset. An international one today. Excellent. Right, I'm going to get a slide going today, and hopefully we can get started. Maybe one or two more joining us as we go along. Okay. So we're looking at moving on to outreach today. The actual practical elements, hands-on. Obviously, a lot of this will relate to automated strategies, but we'll also look at manual strategies. So yeah, warm welcome to everyone tuning in on the live stream as well. That's going out to LinkedIn and also to we put it out to YouTube as well. So welcome, Lulu. Morning. Good to see you. Good to have all the regulars here today. Welcome. So this is part of a 13-week program. It's a weekly masterclass. I'm your host, Alex Smith. I'm here to support you on your kind of LinkedIn journey, really. I'm doing so much learning through kind of creating these masterclasses and the questions that people come up with I find really valuable. And they help me to kind of tailor and improve it even further. So if you're not on the live stream, if you want to be a part of it, good morning to you as well, John. Head over to leadeth.io, that's leadeth.io/masterclass. And there you'll see a form where you can look, get all the emails from me about the next coming weekly masterclass. And you also get a link where you can join us in the live session. So currently there's 4 of us so far in the live session. And if you want to be a part of the interactive session, welcome you to kind of come into the session. It's much more fun when these are done with groups, more people, rather than me on my own just recording it. So on the agenda today, we're going to look at, do a quick overview and introduction. We're going to look at understanding your ideal customer. Next, we'll dive into different connection methods. And we're talking about LinkedIn's the main focus here today. And then probably next week, we'll move into using ChatGPT to actually write campaigns for us. Happy to share some prompts and things that I've got. And then we'll also look at how we can automate campaigns and really kind of automate the process, which is all about scaling our activities. The session runs for about 30 minutes. So I've got nothing else in the diary at 10 o'clock today. So I'm happy to stick around for 5 minutes if people want to catch up or chat further. So quick introduction. Welcome again. This is the Lead Generation Masterclass. Good morning, Jeremy. Welcome.
Morning.
Tuning in. Good to have you with us. Let's skip on. I usually do these same old slides, but I tend to skip through them these days because most of you guys have seen these slides. We talk about the marketing funnel. It's great to understand that for your business and what you're doing at each different element. and where LinkedIn fits into, awareness. What are you doing to kind of raise awareness for your business? Once that awareness is there and people are aware of you, they move down the funnel into the interest stage. They then consider you, weighing up the options. So obviously, if you're on LinkedIn, having a LinkedIn presence, what's going to generate that interest? What hooks can you put out there? What content can you put out there? The consider stage is very much about, testimonials and reviews. So obviously, if you've got some glowing recommendations, shout about them on LinkedIn. Schedule that into your content, because it's really going to impact people's decision-making process and help them on their journey. There's a modern version of this funnel. It's called the flywheel effect. That's where we talk about attracting those clients, very much the awareness stage. We move on to engaging with them. We delight them, give them great service, and then they become loyal advocates. And that's kind of like a strategic partnership strategy where they become loyal fans, referring us more clients to keep the wheels spinning along. So where does Mastering Outreach fit in the whole lead generation LinkedIn ecosystem? This is the kind of roadmap which I take my kind of done for you clients, I guess, are on this roadmap. We help them with identifying the target audience. So that's very much looking at your brand, your identity, and what you're doing, and understanding who needs your services. What are their problems, and align your personal LinkedIn profile so it speaks with clarity to that audience. Okay. Things like 2 weeks ago, we looked at headlines. We looked at your headshot, professional headshot, and how implementing changes to that can really have a huge impact on people's connectivity rates and reply rates on your campaigns. But today we come to LinkedIn Outreach stage 3 of the process, and kind of creating these automation campaigns that are going to start to build up relationships with people on LinkedIn. The next stage on from that is email outreach, the natural follow-up process in terms of reaching out to prospects. If you've made a connection with them on LinkedIn, it's great to then also go out via email as well. You've got them in 2 different places. Some people will hang around in email, but not so much be active on LinkedIn. So if you've got a multi-channel strategy or an omni-channel strategy, that's really going to help you. And now built into the Leaders tool, on our scale plan, we've got a telephone dialer and SMS. You can also send text messages to people as well. Their numbers are freely available on their LinkedIn profile, so then accepting that profile request, I see that as legitimate consent under GDPR. Let's make use of that and start to target them in other ways. Stage 5 is all about video content marketing, not necessarily video, just content marketing. So having a strategy where you're putting content out on LinkedIn regularly. I have a 13-week process, which works really well. And that's adding that content out is fantastic because it generates inbound leads. So you've got your outbound strategy, but then having this content strategy is like a nice little bolt-on, an inbound strategy there. And then we've got appointment setting as well. Oh, I went back a slide. Sorry about that. Appointment setting and systemization of your business. So having a system in place to capture all those leads into one place. Most people's call to action is to schedule an appointment. It might be for you to, get them to complete a form or download an ebook. Could be attending webinars. So think about what the call to action is, what you want your ideal prospect to do. And then we look around how we can automate those processes, how we can automate follow-up emails on the back of them booking a strategy call or discovery session with you. So if you can systemize that, it saves you so much time. So understanding your ideal customer. So before we start connecting with potential prospects on LinkedIn, it's important that we take some time to just think about who your ideal prospect is. Once we know them, that's going to help us to create a really targeted approach. So our connection requests and messages, we're going to increase the chances of getting a positive response from them. We don't want to just be, targeting, being really general and just targeting lots and lots of people, hitting the big numbers, because that's just a waste of marketing. It's a waste of electricity. We want to be kind of laser focused. So at least we're in with a good chance of getting some great results back. So understanding our ideal prospect is all about knowing their job titles If you know the types of job titles that you want to be working with, that really helps. Understanding the size of the business is quite crucial, because different approaches are needed for different size companies. If you're going to a CEO of a company with 50 plus employees, your approach is probably going to be a little bit different to one-man band, personal, consultant, or working on their own. So think about the location. It's always good to be country specific within your campaigns, because that just helps you to refine your messaging and target with a bit more relevance. So all this information is going to really help you to determine whether a potential prospect is going to be ideally a good fit for your business, and hopefully save you time in the long run. I just came off a quick 15-minute call with a new client today, and we were talking about the qualification process. So before you're dropping people into, this is kind of further down the line, dropping them into strategy calls, it's important to qualify them, because you don't want absolutely everybody filling up your diary when we turn on these automations. So it's key to start to qualify them and think about how can we qualify these prospects as well. So that's always running in the back of my mind when I'm creating campaigns for clients. It's understanding, how can we do that. So several different places that we go to for prospects. There's no right or wrong approach. You've kind of just got to test and measure, try all these different approaches and see if that's where they're congregating. Obviously, if you've been doing it some years and you've got the experience, then you can, and someone comes to you and says, right, I want to target these types of people, then I have a pretty good idea where we should be looking at those. So LinkedIn search filters, obviously you've got LinkedIn basic search filters at the top of LinkedIn. You can search for your ideal prospects there. That will generate a list of people who you can then reach out to, connect with. We've also got LinkedIn groups. They could be hanging around in specific LinkedIn groups. So trying to join as many of these different relevant LinkedIn groups is really going to help your strategy. Sales Navigator. So this is a paid premium version of Sales Navigator. We've discussed it in previous weeks. It's around, over here in the UK, it's £66 a month plus VAT. So it's around about £80 a month. So a significant investment just for having this ability to filter prospects. So most clients either run a free trial. I need to kind of subscribe to it when it's free at the moment. Or if I get a 2-month trial of it, that's when I kind of make the most out of it and do all my searches then, bring all those searches into a system, have all the list of prospects ready to go. So you can actually harvest Sales Navigator data and then use it down the line when you don't have it. So that's a great strategy. LinkedIn events is really, really a great place to be hanging around. Obviously, in your industry, there might be specific LinkedIn events. If you say you're attending that LinkedIn event, that then gives you an open door into lots of other people who are also attending that same event. So think about your groups, think about your events, and you can find events on LinkedIn just by searching in the main search box at the top. If you know of any industry exhibitions or things that go on, or conferences, worth signing up to those, because it's likely that your prospects will also be attending some of those events. So there's lots of different ways we can reach out to people. So I'm going to teach some manual connection methods, and then we're going to look at some semi-automated approaches. And then probably next week we'll kick in with some really super duper automated approaches, which are kind of software driven. So manual connection methods. So there's great benefits to each of these methods, and obviously there's a few flaws with each of the method. But when we talk about the manual method, that is going into the LinkedIn. You're going to have to do every single prospect yourself. Obviously, that's going to be hugely time consuming, but it allows you to be a bit more personal. It allows you to look at their profile, and then you can sort of become more of a bespoke message to that person. So if your game is not numbers and you're just after quality, then the personal approach could actually yield you a greater result, but it is a sacrifice of time. We then have semi-automatic connection methods. So the semi-automatic connection methods are much faster, not as personal. We use tools like Get Magical. I can demo that with you now. Let me just go into a new tab, linkedin.com. So here we are, we're in LinkedIn. And if I was just going to search for a business owner, maybe, very general. And we can go down to people, because we're searching for people. People buy from people. And we can go for maybe a second degree connection would be a good fit for me. And I'm also specifically looking for the area of nearest biggest town to me here is Bournemouth. So I'm going to choose Bournemouth. Yeah, you don't have to be this local, but so I've got 1,200 results. So this is people that I'm not yet connected to. It's a huge opportunity connecting with these business owners. I'm going to go to all filters. I've just got the free version of LinkedIn. So if you're also running free version of LinkedIn, these are all the free filters that you'll have access to. So we want to go down and go to industry and maybe go for professional services. I do like financial services and also insurance. I've got a few clients in that industry as well. But let's show results on professional services just to filter this down some more. So we've got a prospect here. This is Keith. And now the manual method obviously is going to that connect button. And this is where we can then add a bespoke note and start send him a message. Hi, Keith. Now, what I'll share in the notes after this masterclass is a complete guide to lots of different outreach methods, lots of different copy and paste examples that you can try yourself. So that's the manual method. Now, the semi-automatic method, I've installed a Chrome plugin called Get Magical. I'll include a link to that again afterwards. But what it allows us to do is kind of semi-automate this approach. So I can actually do 2 / signs, and you can see what's happened. It's populated up with a list of presets, and these are presets that I've pre-written, and it's just saved my time because I'm not having to copy and paste. I can just click on the invite, and then I can populate it with the details from the page that I've got open. So it says Keith there for the first name, and also the business name. It's not fetched the business name on this occasion, but I can see it's in the background there, BDP Solutions. So there we go. I can now insert that, and it's populated a kind of customized message for this person with a personalized first name and the company name, which I've popped in there. So that's using a tool called Get Magical. It's a free Chrome plugin, so you can use Google Chrome to leverage that sort of semi-automation. And then I can send that message off to him. Beware of the character count. I always try to make sure that initial character count is below 200 characters, but certainly make sure it's well below the 300. Once you send that off, that'll obviously go to the prospect, requesting that you connect with them. And then it allows you to then follow up with a message in your inbox. Now, if you're like me, you'll probably have lots of different messages coming in from lots of different places. It starts to get very confusing and it's hard to manage, which is why I want to introduce an automated solution to you next week, just to show you how better to manage those replies and knowing who's had what, who's been connected to what. So there's a smarter way out there to do it. So that's just a quick example of doing some of those connections. Okay, so back to what we're talking to on the slide decks here. The fully automated methods, these are kind of software design solutions. It's where you hook up your LinkedIn account to software, and the software then automatically go out and start connecting with people. I was just going to show you a quick PDF that I'm going to share, and then we'll open it up for some questions. Bear with me. Google Drive. And it's called Effective LinkedIn Prompts. So share this tab. So hopefully you guys can see this here. This is the PDF guide, which has got lots of effective LinkedIn connection request templates. For those of you that are in the live group, I'll share a link directly in the live group to this now, so you can pick up the file there. But it'd be great to have a look at that, and I'll quickly run through the basics. But basically, you've got the "This is me" template, short and sweet. Hello, first name. I work for such and such company, and I'd love to connect with you. Short and sweet. It does the job quite often. You have the things in common template. So this is where you can identify mutual things that you've got in common with the other prospect. So typically we would do, came across your profile, very interested in your experience in whatever it is they do, in whatever industry they do. So how about we get in touch, share a lot of content relating to such that I think you might find useful. So that's worked really well for me in the past, that sort of campaign. If you're using automation, obviously you're limited to the types of placeholders and data tags that you can use. So just be mindful of that. Certainly if you're a lead client and you're copy and pasting some of these in, be sure to check it on the preview before you go live with the campaign, because there's nothing more embarrassing than an incorrect placeholder going out and people coming back to you. There's another one here, which is the flatter the ego template. So this is where we basically give lots of praise, and they love that. If you talk about other people and put them first, it really kind of amplifies their expectations, and just they come off feeling a lot better, and it helps with that whole relationship building thing. We've got a fishing for information template. So this is great. It's not salesy, it's not too spammy, it's just more kind of relational. I've got a question for you, if you don't mind. Where do you find most of your customers at such and such business? Or even if you could go down the research route, often people go down that. I've seen a lot of outreach approaches to me saying, I'm doing a bit of research around this particular subject. Do you have 5 minutes to hop on a quick call to chat further, or something like that if you wanted to? But just asking a simple question is really helpful in terms of those outreach strategies. And then in your follow-up messages, these are where you can start to put slightly longer messages together. So there's loads of examples there, and there's 8 pages of them for you to have a look through and digest. And if you want to put your own together, feel free to feed this into ChatGPT and say, here are some template messages. This is the industry that I'm in. I'm going after these people. Can you put together me? We've got a LinkedIn campaign, and we'll be doing that next week using ChatGPT. So that's pretty much most of what I've got to share from today's point of view. I'm going to come back into the sessions room and just see where people are at with all of this. So, any questions? Oh,
yep. Hi, I can't find the those. Where are they on the board? Are they in the community calendar class?
Which the examples?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So in the chat here in sessions, I've pasted a direct link to the Google document. There's also you can find it in the community. It'll be under stage 3 if you've got access to stage 3.
Oh, thank you, stage 3.
All very quiet.
No, I'm just looking it up.
The curly brackets, that's a throwback to mail merge.
That's right.
Are you is that unautomated in any way, or is that coming in the future?
No. So it's automated if you're using software like Leadith. Very much. We've got dedicated placeholders that will pull off their first name off their LinkedIn profile. So when you're sending an outreach message, if you use the Get Magical plugin, which I mentioned earlier, then that is in effect using placeholders. So as long as you can populate those placeholders with data off their profile, which is what I did in the demo, then yeah, you can start to leverage some of those placeholders. What we're actually doing in Leadith is generating icebreakers using AI. So that's where we actually go out and say, hey, something on your profile stood out to me, blah, blah, blah. And it actually will do all that in the messaging, which is quite incredible. So it just appears super personalized and for that individual. We can demonstrate more of that stuff next week, because next week's probably going to go down a bit of an AI slant in terms of those approaches.
As part of the campaign sort of interface that you mentioned earlier.
Yes, that's the automated route with Leader.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Any further questions? or approaches that people are using currently themselves.
Yes, I've got a question.
Your audio is very quiet, Christopher.
Can we go to 12 o'clock your time?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, your audio is a little bit quiet for me. I don't know about the other people in the room, but
Yeah, it's pretty quiet. Like you're 1,000 miles away.
Right, okay. Can you hear me?
I'll turn my speakers up, crank them up. So I just need to remember to turn you back down once you finished.
Sorry, I've got a brand new computer and I'm still working out one or two things. What I wondered is, have you got some examples of conversion rates, case studies perhaps for different sorts of campaigns? Can you provide some examples, please?
Yeah, certainly. So what worked well for me is obviously most of my clients come from what I call first-degree campaigns. So these are the campaigns where you're targeting first-degree prospects that are already in your network. So that's why it's great to have a strategy where you're building out more and more connections and more reaching out to as many secondary connections as you can. Max out your limits. 400 a month is where LinkedIn will let you go. Naughtily, I push out probably more like 700 a month. But it's fine. I've not got a ban yet, and I'm just push on with it. And it's worked like that for many years, fine for me. So obviously building out your first degree network is the key thing. Once you've got the people in your first degree network, often a message like, I did one which yielded a few clients, and that was at New Year's. I did Happy New Year. By the way, I've just launched this new particular program. I thought you might be interested in it. And that yield for me yielded really good. It was a straight to the point message to people already in my first degree network. People were interested in the new program. They've obviously been following me, learning about the content. So that approach worked really well in terms of actually generating results. The other strategy that's working well at the moment is using competitors' posts. So if you can find a competitor who's your perfect audience, you can actually scrape all the people that have engaged with their posts, and you basically start your message, hey, noticed your engagement on such and such's post, competitor's name's post. I thought you might be interested in, what I'm doing at such and such. That works really well as well, because you're going right to the audience. Those approaches tend to work really well. Other things that have worked well in the past, I think there's just typically we aim to hit a 50% accepting rate, so rate of getting 100 connection requests out. You probably expect around about 50 of those to actually be connected with you. So a 50% connection acceptance rate is pretty much standard what I'm seeing across the board. Some clients a bit higher, some clients a bit lower, depending on kind of what campaigns they're running at the time. But yeah, and then reply rates, we tend to see around about a 15 to 20% reply rate within campaigns.
Are there anyone left?
Welcome back, Richard.
I had left, but yeah.
You're back.
Hello, Alex.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm back. That's good.
Yeah. So so in terms of exact case studies and exact results, I'll probably have to probe some of my clients to do that. The reviews page at Leadeth are real testimonials, real client wins. So feel free to reach out to any of those guys for their experiences in terms of how automating can really generate better results.
Do you
Thanks.
see those ratios and results as they are produced?
Yeah, so the real-time data does run live.
So you can monitor your campaigns to see what you need tweaking.
Very much so, yeah. So if you do A/B split testing and things like that, you can quite quickly identify what's happening. So I mean, this is a campaign. I'm getting kind of a 19% reply rate on it. This is where I just invite people to my next my next event. So that's this one that we run here. So that just churns each week. I put a new event link in every week, and it generates replies and interest that campaign. I've tried, here we go. So this is kind of more of a generic campaign targeting marketing directors. We can see I've got a 77% acceptance rate here and a 10% reply rate. So if you say you're in the marketing industry and you're then targeting people also in marketing, quite often that naturally will gather you a really high acceptance rate. But obviously the reply rate's a little bit lower on that specific campaign. Interestingly, we do see really good click rates through links in our messages. We also see really good open rates, which you wouldn't see with cold email marketing campaigns. The email click rate's not as good, but certainly the email open rate are good. So I probably need to work on the messaging within the email campaigns within this sort of campaign here. But this is all kind of live data from the campaigns. Yeah.
Excellent.
Great. I think we're out of time, but I'm happy to stick around for a little bit more if others want to still join.
All right.
Christopher? It's gone.
Yeah, I think nearly finished.
Yeah. Thank you, gentlemen.
Alex, could I have a quick word with you? Is that?
Yeah, certainly, Jeremy. Let me just stop the live stream. So yeah, next week we'll be moving on to part 2. We'll look at more automation. Yeah, but great. Thank you for all coming along today. Feel free to reach out to me in the Leadeth community if you're not already a part of that. Head over to leadeth.io. That's leadeth.io/school. That'll take you to the school community where you can find me.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex.
Okay.
Useful session. This.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Talk again soon.
Bye for now.
Cheers, John. Bye.
Cheers, Alex.
Thanks, Terry. Take care.
Cheers, Terry.